If you're someone who has struggled with having a lot of stuff, me too, I'm right there with you. I've just started the process of trying to declutter, and these are the best things I've learned so far. So once again, I'm doing this in sort of a get ready with me kind of style because I need to get ready. Hello, if you are new here, my name is Kate and I'm a lady in transition. I'm leaving a career I've had for 27 years because I want to live a more fulfilling life. I've cleaned out closets time and time again, clothes, I've done those big purges, but I really have never done purges where I looked at what I had around me and was like, do I really need this thing? This little character I can already tell you is going to stay. Anyhoosins, I'm very much a beginner in this whole situation, but I've really learned some very valuable things that have already had an impact on trying to declutter. So I thought, since I'm kind of sharing as I go, this would be something really good to share with people who might be trying to do the same thing. Pardon me, won't you, while I take a quick sip of my coffee. Branding! So today I have 3 things for you that have really helped me so far in my effort to declutter. The first one, which may sound a little silly, but I promise you was huge for me, is watch some decluttering videos and some minimalist content. I just started diving in and watching. Some of it, my friends, was a lot. I was like, I don't think this is for me. Eventually, though, I did find somebody who I could connect with. Her name's Elin Lesser. I really liked her videos. I connected immediately because it felt doable. So I just started watching a lot of her videos, and this is where the majority of the stuff that I've learned has come from so far. So that's my first tip. Find somebody who's doing it or has already done it. Start watching, see what they've done, and see how that works for you. Not to mention, this is unbelievably lazy and low stakes, which is exactly what I needed. It's the perfect thing to sit and listen and just sort of let it seep into your bones. Next. So my next tip is probably something that you've heard before, and I'd heard it before too, but just kind of in a different way. So this is kind of that spark joy thing, but in a way that, at least to me, made more sense. And that is, instead of approaching getting rid of stuff by looking at, what can I get rid of? It's more gentle. You approach it by, what do I really like? And what is the vision of who I am or how I live in the future? And does this fit in to that? What am I going for? That was a really big thing. One of the things I know for me, and probably for a lot of people, that's such a huge thing and such a huge barrier, is shame. You feel embarrassed to know, like, I have all this stuff, or I have a closet that if you open it, like, all of this stuff will come tumbling out. We all, I think, have that in some way. Nobody ever wants to talk about it. I mean, especially this time of year, the holiday season, if people are coming over to your house, you're like, put the good towels in the bathroom. So even just framing it in a bit more of a positive way, and almost having it be more gentle, a more quiet process, and not something that you're beating yourself up about, because then it just makes it even less appealing to do. Which leads me to number 3. You do not have to set aside an entire weekend to do nothing but rifle through all of your stuff. To be fair, I just had a weekend where I did do exactly that, and it did feel very good because I was really motivated to do it and I wanted to get that jump start. And so yes, I did do that. But since doing that, I have done little things. One drawer here, one cabinet here, and I have my pile of stuff that I plan to donate, but it has been a huge game changer. First of all, when you start clearing out some of these things, you have room to put the things that you're actually using instead of having to, do this whole Tetris game to get everything to be where you need it to be. So that's been great. Maybe give yourself, however much time you want to do, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or something like that to just do one drawer. Now that that stuff is out, I can take other stuff that I'm using all the time, put it in a better place, more accessible place. It's more useful. And part of me is having this feeling of like, why didn't you do this years ago? But I also know that I still have a long way to go. And oh, I have one more bonus tip for you. The other big part of this is that yes, it can be physically exhausting, but it can be emotionally exhausting as well. A lot of our items that we have, we associate with people we know, people we love, or times that we had, things that we did that we want to remember. And you don't necessarily need to have that thing to remember that moment. So that's something to keep in mind. But one of the other big things are things like gifts. And I know that if I know somebody gave me something as a gift, it makes it really hard for me to part with it because that was something special that they did for me. This was a really good tip for me. And that is thinking of it in terms of these are people who love you, who gave you something because they love you. And wouldn't they want you to be feeling good, not hanging on to something they gave you out of guilt? I don't know about you, but I don't go into anybody's home and be like, where's that Christmas present I gave you 7 years ago? I'm not doing that. If it's something you're like, I use this, I love it, great, then keep it. But if you literally just discovered it in the bottom of a box or a closet or a drawer or a cabinet and you're like, oh, this was a Christmas present from 2016. I can't get rid of that. Maybe if you rediscover it and it's something you want to use, then wonderful. But if not, then it can be somebody else's treasure. So overall, there has been some progress, which feels good because it feels like it's also building a little bit of momentum. And I can also tell you that I have saved myself some money because I've found things that I would have 1,000,000% repurchased because I didn't know I had them. I mean, I didn't like uncover like a Bentley in the garage, but still, it adds up. So anyway, I know this is something that has been really difficult for me, particularly getting started and getting going. So these are things that help me. Hopefully they help you as well. And again, you're watching somebody who is in progress. I'm not someone who can say, look at how I created my minimalist lifestyle. And I don't know that I'm really ever going to truly be in that category ever, but I know that I can at least feel a little less do share with me if this is something that helped down in the comments, or if there's something that has helped you. I am open to suggestions as well. One more thing. My father made this for me when I was like 15 or 16 years old. So it's been around a long time. The lighting is not necessarily great, well, especially when you have a couple of bulbs missing. We're doing great over here. I've got my ring light here, which I've had this for a number of years, and it is a great tool. But speaking of repurposing things, I would be using this right now, even if I wasn't recording this video, because getting ready in the earlier morning, it can be so dark that I finally was like, what am I doing here? Anywho, great tool. Happy to have it. It is that point in the process where I now have to dry my hair, which is not really conducive to any further chit chat here on this particular video, but thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, wonderful. Subscribe, leave a comment, like it. All of those things would be a delight. But anyway, good luck with whatever your life is bringing your way, and I'll see you later.